Good evening, everyone. Back to the shop and just part way through my clock build, and thought I'd do a little video about deburring. Who thought there could actually be enough content to do a video about deburring? But I've always kind of stuck to something like this. Eclipse, classic deburring tool. Nice blade on there. Dead simple when it comes to deburring. Slide it along. Get a nice finish. Get a nice deburr on there. And I mean, traditionally, that's what I've used for the last sort of 19, 20 years whilst I've been into engineering and the hobby. And it was only about a couple of years ago maybe, that I came across more deburring tools and started to pay attention to them. At the end of the day, they cost quite a bit of money. And I never thought really that I'd need them. But in actual fact, in hindsight, I wish I'd have got sort of this sort of thing earlier. It's really sort of helped in terms of the workflow and just the ease of getting rid of difficult burrs and just making the parts look a lot more finished. So putting aside the standard sort of Eclipse, and we went to this new brand, and I wish I was sponsored. Gosh, I'm nowhere near big enough to be sponsored, but we went to this brand, Noga. Again, just really happy with them, so bought a load of their stuff. And I'm really impressed, first of all, with the box, with the deburring kit. So basically, loads of different deburring tools. And I'll be totally honest, I don't use many of these two hooks. I do use the standard sort of deburring tool that we saw before. But it's just a really nice system. Satisfying pop out of the box. You get your standard deburring tool there. A few others, like I say, don't particularly use it. Little hook, straighter edge tool. But these two, I definitely do. And these have been, like I say, a game changer. Certainly for holes, I do tend to find, certainly when you drill holes, that they leave quite a big burr, and it's always difficult to get into them with a standard burring tool. In fact, that's obviously not really what they're made for. And instead, what we can do is, again, with this nice kit, you can just insert the new blade, and you've got a hole deburring tool. I'm not going to deburr it because I want to show something else, but basically just run that inside, and you deburr the hole. So you've got both your internal there. If you've got a external rod that you want to deburr, so you can then use the external one. An example of that, I'm just going to look behind me, see if I can pick up a piece of brass randomly lying around. So this is for the outside. So basically, same idea there. Yeah, you can see there I've gone quite deep into it, and it's almost giving it a bit of a chamfer. I'm sure if it had gone a little bit longer, you could have got that sort of effect. So another nice little tool to have. So that's the deburring kit. And then I must admit, I went one step further, and so I've got a few different things there. I've got a replacement there. This wasn't going dull, but I was so impressed with it, I got a spare just when I need it. There's also, if I can find it in the packets, there's also, here we go, there's also a smaller one for slightly smaller holes. Obviously, a lot of the work that I do is clockwork, and therefore that's really good for smaller holes. Fits again in the holder. And then I came across these two as well, same brand, same make. Really interesting. These are almost like little knife edges. And there's a little button at the top. When you press the button, it turns the blade. And you can actually have the blade either way. So when you hold it, the button, it goes flat, let go. And you do have to press it a few times, I must admit. So you press it a few times and it goes the other way. And for example, say I wanted to deburr the outside of a hole. So I could do this sort of thing, and it will cut in both directions. So there you go. There's me deburring that hole. So that was nice. But also, if you have a part that you can't access the back side of, but you actually want to deburr it, obviously I can get to both sides of this. But say this was a blind hole and you couldn't actually get to the back side of it by turning the part round, you can press the button in to straighten out the blade. You can then come back from the other side. And if the blade, you do have to keep playing with this a little bit. So I'll come back out just so I'm not cheating. Just going to move the blade into this sort of a position. So now when you press hold, gently, let go, it then pulls out of the back on the correct side. And again, you can then deburr the rear of the hull. And again, this cuts in both directions. So again, just a nice little tool for making life a little bit easier. And essentially, that's all I appreciate these are. At the end of the day, you're not going to make fantastic parts with these. You're just going to finish them off using it. And I've been really happy with this. In fact, so much so that obviously the standard deburring blades, I got a pack of 10 as well for. So I just wanted to show you the little setup there I've got for deburring. Like I say, never thought it was really a particularly important part of machining. But actually, it makes if you've got the right tools, it makes the job a lot easier. That said, if you've not got any deburring tools yet, something like this is an absolute godsend just to get you going. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.